What's up? What's up? What's up? Coach Bruce is in the studio, and I'm going to make a quick video because I wanted to talk about something that is, really important to me. It is communication as an ADHD adult. It is something that I used to struggle with really badly without even knowing that I was struggling with it. I was always really good with my words, and so I thought I acquitted myself so well in conversation, and it turns out that I really didn't. Um, I was not getting the things I wanted communicated across to the people that were important to me. And so, as confident as I was going around with a false perception of what I thought was being heard. And that's really important that you are actually communicating what you want people to understand whenever you're having conversations. So, I just came up with this quick list of 5 easy tips that you can start to, apply a strategy to make the quality of conversations you are having much better. My course that I created for ADHD adults and specifically dads goes into a much more depth about really getting into how you're communicating what's important to you. This is about just improving the quality of the conversation so there's less feedback between the person that you were speaking to and the message you were trying to get to them. So let's get into it really quick because it's a super easy lesson. It's just 5 things. First thing is minimize distractions. All of us have kids, we've got animals, we've got all this stuff that's always going on. If you are ADHD and you were trying to have an important conversation, it is important that you're able to pay attention so you are getting the information you need to hear, but also, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody else who's ADHD, you want to give them the best opportunity to hear what you're actually saying. So let's minimize distractions. Let the kids, watch a movie for the day, or whatever it is that you want to do to give them something that they're not coming to you every 5 minutes to interrupt the conversation, because it does make it much harder to pay attention. Secondly, to make this even easier, you should schedule your talk times. Whenever you, my wife and I have a weekly, at least 1 hour appointment on every Sunday where we talk about the important issues in our marriage. The 1 hour is the minimum. Sometimes it goes up to 6 hours, depending on how much we have to talk or how much time we've spent with each other that week. Sometimes it's just nice to just have a conversation without the distractions, but you have to be intentional about that and you have to schedule it in order to get that. Um, Secondly, embrace visual aids. If you are a person who often loses their place in the conversation, forgets what they were talking about, doesn't really remember what they wanted to talk about in the first place, bring things with you to the conversation that are going to help you in communicating what you want to talk about. Sticky notes, bring your notebook. So if there's a point that's made that you want to get back to, write it down so then you can get back to listening. Because the next tip is practice active listening techniques. And if you're constantly thinking about what you want to say next so you don't forget it, you're not actively listening. And then you are going to be missing the points that you need to hear to be able to be fully in the conversation. And that is obviously not good. So if you can just write it down, say, hold on, give me a second. Let me write that down really quick so I can get back to it later. That's going to help you be able to actively listen, nod your head, say that show that you are paying attention. This is especially important with people who are neurodivergent because a lot of times our intention will not be mirrored in our body language. So if you are, on the autism spectrum, you might be paying really close attention, but you're stimming, or you've got a fidget spinner or something else that looks like you're totally distracted. For me, I'm going to take that as like, oh, they're not really that engaged in what I'm saying. I really wish that they would listen to me. But if you are doing whatever you need to do to feel comfortable in the situation, but you're still active listening, you're still giving nods, you're still, occasionally saying, okay, I hear that. Whatever you need to do to show that you're still paying attention while you're doing the other thing that helps to soothe you, that's going to help you both feel more comfortable in that conversation. And that's a win for everybody. Secondly, and this is really important both for yourself, but also for you and whoever the conversation is going to be with. Like, for example, for me and my wife, I go into a conversation knowing what my goals are. If my goal is to improve communication whenever we start getting into some of the trauma that we've had in our relationship, we've gotten into the thing that I did wrong 3 weeks ago, whatever, it's easy for me to want to lose my cool and get upset in that conversation if I don't have a goal. If I do remember that my goal is to improve communication, as I start to slip off into that, emotional dysregulation and, get upset, it's easy for me to take a step back and say, hold on a second, this has gone kind of off the rails. Like, this conversation was supposed to be about improving the way that we talk to each other, and I'm not doing my part in that right now. I'm really sorry. Can we just take a few steps back, take a deep breath, and try to, speak to each other more kindly? Because that, I really want to come away from this conversation with an improved amount of communication. And having those defined goals helps so much whenever emotions get involved. You start to feel a little bit of stress, you start to get a little irritated. If you have that defined goal, it's your goal, you're going to want to fall back on that, and you're going to want to use that to help guide the conversation, and it's going to be better for everybody involved. And if you have these scheduled talk times where you have a plan for what the scheduled talk is going to be about, then it's like, hey, let's Sundays we talk about our marriage. Then that's the goal. The goal is to talk about your marriage, and then the goal within that should be to be respectful and kind, to actually do things that are improving. So if you get off on a tangent where you're kind of just playing the blame game, you can ask yourself, is this serving our goal? No, I don't think it is. Like, so maybe we should both just apologize for things that we said, take a deep breath, step back, and re-engage in a way that is more helpful to moving towards our goal like we want. And these are all really simple things that anybody can add to their conversational toolbox and make a huge difference in the quality of the conversations that they're having. It is a little bit different. It's a little bit harder to put in the work to start crafting more important content in your conversations, and that's what my communication for or my ADHD communication course is all about. So I strongly encourage you to check the link below and go check out that course, because that goes into much more depth about how you speak with intention and authority. These tips are all just about making the conditions optimum so you can have better conversations. As you get into what the content of the conversation is about, it's important that you define your foundation and work from there. And that's what that course is all about. So click the link in my bio. Please go check out that course. It is going to help you dramatically if you're an ADHD adult to engage in conversations that are going to make a difference in your life and are going to let people know what's important to you in a intentional and authoritative way that is going to be respected, and people are going to start to really see the change in you. So please, I always encourage everybody to be yourself and love yourself and continue on doing that. And I will talk to you later.